and welcome back to Like Jasper. This podcast is probably going to be a train wreck, but we are trying really hard for it not to be. We we
This is
want to
take 4.
yeah. We want to talk about how laughter is the best medicine. Just because we do it all the time inappropriately when it's probably not funny, but I feel like laughter has such a healing quality to it, which we know. We were looking up scriptures, right, about laughter, and there's not as many as you would think. It's more joy. Why is my camera moving like this? I want it to stop. If I push this button, will it stop? Oh, does it shut it off? Center stage off. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, this background here that and nobody has noticed, but I really can't. I'm gonna have to look just not. This is in my home, and it is our family's like
Loom.
yeah.
Not the right word. Did I say the wrong word? What's the word?
You're thinking of heirloom? Is that what you're
What's what's a loom? What's
I don't know what a loom is, but it is like our family's heirlooms.
heirlooms? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get it together.
Okay, so the point is not about the family heirlooms or the wall of loom. I don't know what that is. But it is in my house. I have like our family, like the Crocker family side, which is taking up a lot of it. But if you look very carefully, my mom's dad, nobody can see it, but I do have my mom's family also represented here on the back with like different awards, but really the entirety is like the swords and like old world stuff. And Mama and Apapa, that's your friend that took their picture right there. Oh, look.
Oh yeah. You're really fuzzy on my screen, but I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, good.
My friend probably took that one. It's like the black and white one of them sitting together.
Yes.
And it's adorable.
Yes.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. And it's anyways, okay, not the point of this. I'm just telling you that it's very distracting for me because normally I don't have this background and I just keep looking at the matador and I keep looking at the well, anyways. So but really though, I feel like there's so much right now, especially, I don't know when people are going to listen to this, but there's so much heaviness going on. You know, I know you're struggling not to laugh, but I'm trying to like.
I'm also struggling not to cough. It's like stuck right there, so I'm like,
yeah, no. I just keep thinking about how when we first started, one of the very first podcasts that we did was about praise and about worship and how to do that through like mental health struggles and just in general as a battle cry, right? But I think about how often like when you and I talk that we just laugh at
for no reason.
Yeah, and
I'll send. Okay, this happens both ways, but I might send a Marco Polo to Brittany, and I'm laughing my head off. She has no idea why. Like I just witnessed something hilarious. That's probably not hilarious to the rest of the world, and I'm like, I have to tell Brittany, so I get on Marco Polo, which is this video messaging system that we use. And I'm like crying with laughter, and she'll be like watching my video, dying laughing with me. I have no idea because I haven't been able to get the words out to explain what was so funny. And vice versa, she'll do that to me, and yeah.
Oh, that's good. So we were like, what are the funny stories we're gonna tell? And we have I don't even know how many, and I couldn't think of any, and I just thought of one because you said the Marco Polo with Jet. But we wanted to, because this is a podcast about the Lord, we plan to just this to be joyful for you, that you can just sit here and think with like imagine how ridiculous we are, and then the stories, and then just laugh. Like if you're just having a hard time, we wanted this just to be fun. And that being said, I do have some scriptures that talk about it. Should I do that?
Uh-huh.
Because once we get started, we are not going to be able to get it
I'm
together.
laughing because I keep having this creepy feeling that there's a snake in my house. I don't know why.
Oh,
I've been having feeling right.
I thought
Well,
you
I
were
just
going to say, I keep having this creepy feeling that there's somebody behind you. And I was like, in fact, there is. Look, it's right there. It's creeping me out. No,
oh,
behind me.
no, but I just put my hand like in the little desk crack or something, and I was like, and then then I realized there was just a balloon that my kids blew up and stuck in the desk drawer. But I was laughing because I just imagined that everyone had no idea why I was like, so I just have to explain myself as to why I suddenly had this weird look on my
And the
face.
best part is probably nobody noticed because I didn't notice.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch the replay.
I don't know. Some of the times though, I miss like subtle social cues. It's my problem.
Okay,
Not some
so
of the
tell
times,
me
a lot of the
verses.
times.
Okay, then.
Okay, so I have Proverbs 17:22. You're not allowed to read any of the scriptures that you wrote down because they were all very wildly inappropriate to the topic. I was like, nope, not that one. Not that's that one. Um, this one is no. I don't know what Proverbs 17:22 is because apparently I thought I should write it, but not actually write the scripture. But Job 8:21 says, "You're gonna pull the other one up."
Yeah, what was it? Psalms what?
17:22. No, Proverbs
Okay,
17:22.
I'm on
Close.
it while you read the next one.
Okay. Job 8:4 says, "He will once again fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy." I really like that one, especially because it's from Job, and that's kind of where our heart was, like the heavy. Okay, Job is
Yeah,
like exponentially heavy.
heavy. Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot going on right now in the world. I was just there with you, and a hurricane came through, and I know that people in Florida,
And
Georgia, Tennessee,
North
North Carolina, yeah, are all
Carolina,
really experiencing,
South Carolina. Yeah.
yeah, so it's some serious devastation, and we've all, and in the surrounding areas where all the churches and everything are banding together to send it. But I'm just thinking about like somebody might watch this in however long and maybe that's not the heaviness that they're experiencing, but
Right.
this kind of was the topic is because things are heavy. So I love that the first one is Job, and he's talking about the Lord filling his mouth with laughter and lips with shouts of joy. Meanwhile, he's lost everything. um
Yeah.
is
Literally.
Proverbs, yeah, no, literally everything.
Okay, so it's funny that you were going to skip over this one because this was like the whole part of the podcast was a joyful heart is good medicine, but crushed spirit dries up the bones.
Yeah, that
And
might be why, because I was like, oh, that's the one we're going to talk
what?
about. So I'll just write it down to remind myself.
Yeah.
I never follow my notes or whatever. Whoever I was when I wrote that, I don't know because I don't remember what I was thinking. But yeah, do that one again because I love that one. One more time.
A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones.
Yeah,
That's good.
it is
I
good,
like
and I know that there are lots of ways to, his joy, his peace, the way that what he gives us is not like the world gives us. But I just think about the blessings while we're in the world that he gives us. That's like laughing with your best friend about literally nothing,
nothing.
and just being able to be like raw and authentic and say weird things and not care or worry, and it's just so
Right.
freeing, and so yeah, anyways, okay. Psalms 31:25. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. I love that one.
Yeah, I love that.
And then the last one I wrote down was Psalms 126:2. Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for you. And that I like that. I mean, I like all, obviously there's scripture, but I really enjoyed those because you can tell it seems like when there's laughter, there's it's like in contrast to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first one is Job, and the
Yeah.
second one is like laughter without fear of the future, and then the last one is talking about how the praiseworthy, that like say that the Lord has done good things for you, like that, like that's what's bringing, I don't know, just I just think about the contrast because normally we have joy in the midst of sorrow, beauty for ashes, all of that. And so there's always a running theme there with that.
Yeah.
There's a bug. I'm gonna have to kill it.
Mm. Can you just shoot away?
I need something. Hold on. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh no! Where did it go? Oh, oh no!
See, we're all we're all getting really good medicine right now, laughing at you.
Oh, it's like
What
it's.
kind of bug is it? What
Oh,
is
oh,
it?
oh! I got it. It's dead. I'm sorry. I wish we could delete this.
I
Oh,
know, there's an editing thing, like a pause. What kind of bug was it?
I don't want to say it out loud. It was terrible. It was one of those outside bugs. The
Aren't
palmetto.
all bugs What is wrong? I don't think we have indoor bugs and outdoor bugs.
I meant, look how red my face is. I meant the roaches, the big ones that come in from
Palmetto bugs or whatever.
the palmetto bugs.
Yeah,
It
those are
was
terrible.
on my desk. I can't get past it. I've killed it. It's
I
on the
one,
ground. I killed
I
it.
one time sat down in a chair and felt something on my head. I thought it was my hair flipped up like this, and I went to go flip it back, and it was a palmetto bug. And then it like flopped down here, and I was like, "Ah!" And I literally had fingernail marks for like weeks. Yeah, no.
I can't. I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about something else. It freaks me out so bad. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. The point of this is just to make you guys laugh. So if you were like tuning in for some spiritual insight, we have none. All we came for was to say that God intends for you to be joyful. He gives you joy. And now we're going to tell you.
And God
And
has a really great sense of humor.
oh, I mean, hello, he created me. So that's true.
I was actually thinking he created the giraffes, which are really funny, and the elephants, long nose and floppy ears, and you're like, yeah, that's right, he created me.
Also, same vein of thinking. It's fine. Mm.
Oh man,
Gosh,
that's
I
funny.
cannot get over the audacity of that bug. Why would you come on the desk? You could be anywhere. Why would you come over here to me? It feels like you wanted to die. Do you think that was like assisted suicide for the bug? I feel like.
You're smiling. What is this? I'm gonna reel it back in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 11 p.m. Brittany and I have we have broken a promise to one another that we would never record after 8 p.m. because we get silly and we get weird and we don't think.
Weirder. Yeah.
Weirder.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah. So it's 11 p.m. and it's silly time.
Okay. So I was thinking about this funny story, and my
Okay,
son's not going to appreciate that I'm telling it, but it's hilarious.
what happened was.
What happened was so my sweet boy is not like he does not pick up on like sarcasm, and which is weird because I drip with sarcasm all the time, but he does not pick up on it. He takes it very literally. He's just like a black and white panda. Like that's
For
all there
those who
is to
don't
it.
know, he's 11.
He is 11, and he's so he's so sweet. He's so sweet, right? And he's just
Yes.
really kind and funny, and he's just like has the biggest heart and all the things. And I know I've talked about him and I've said that before, but so we were going into the gas station early one morning. And as we walked out,
I don't
there
even
was
know.
uh
I don't even know what happened.
oh
I'm
okay.
laughing.
As we walked out, there was like already a gas station attendant that was outside. And I guess she was smoking or she was doing whatever, but she was outside. She was not inside. And as we walked out, this is really not that funny unless you know Jet and you can imagine the situation. But I died laughing for a really long time after that. And I Marco Poloed you. This is where this came from. And
I don't
so,
remember this.
oh,
Sorry.
okay. Well, so he goes, he, She was like, clearly there was a customer that had been being rude to her. You could tell by her like demeanor, all the like subtle social cues that Jet cannot read. And
Yeah.
so she said, she said, "Have a great day." And Jet goes,
She was being
she was not
sarcastic.
talking to us, by the way, but Jet didn't realize that. And he said,
I'm like, do you
"Thanks."
remember this story?
Yeah, he said, "Thanks, you too." And I tried not to burst out laughing. And then we walked a few minutes, like a few steps away, and he goes, "I don't think she was talking to us."
She was being snarky
She was
and
being
sarcastic.
she was being
She wasn't
so
talking
rude,
to
like overly exaggerating. That's why it's funny, because it was like nobody else would have mistaken it. And
me. Right.
she was like, "Have a great day," like her facial expression and everything. And he was like, "You too." And then it like, I finally, I don't think she was talking to us. She wasn't, definitely wasn't talking to us. Anyways, it's really not funny unless you
That's,
know
that's
Jet.
actually really precious, though. I feel like
And
that's
it's
super
really
precious.
precious. All of his
Yeah.
funny
You
stories
know,
are
like,
really
have a better day too. Like, oh, that poor sweet kid just thought I was genuinely being kind
I
and like,
know.
like, hopefully it like changed her perspective and her, everything.
He
That's
was
so
so
funny.
bubbly about it. "You too." And I was like, "Mm-mm, nope,
It
definitely
reminds me
not."
of today. We went through the drive-through, and the lady on the intercom thing, she was just she wasn't being rude or anything like that, but she was just being like flat to the point, like she wasn't like, okay, sure, it was just like,
Like you and
okay,
me when we order
would you
food.
like to order anything else? Would you like to order anything else? Oh, no, that's okay, thank you. Okay, it'll be da 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 da. All right, have a great day. Just like super monotone like that. But she was saying nice words like, thank you, ma'am. You could drive around to the side. Have a great day. She was saying like really monotone. I feel like she was like, wow, she was really nice. And I had been thinking, wow, she sounds like she's really just struggling to, push through. Like she's really doesn't want to be here kind of thing. So anyways, that's
I
funny.
think it's funny that both of our kids are just like so pure hearted, that they're like, "That was wonderful." And it's not.
uh,
And
that's
uh
why the Lord says we should be like little children.
I know that, right? That's very true. Um, I'm trying to think of the other funny things that have happened.
I have a terrible, embarrassing one.
Oh,
If you
give
want
it
to
to
hear.
me. Lay it on me.
Okay, you know this one, but it's been a while since I've shared it with you. I think so. But I grew up in a family that did not have a lot of money. My parents had like scraped up pennies to rent a limousine as a surprise for us as a family of four, plus my aunt and Uncle Thomas and Aunt Caroline, and Grandma and Daddy Heis. And so, by the way, Brittany is on my mom's side of the family. These people I'm talking about, my dad's side of the
Yeah,
family. Otherwise, Brittany would have been there too.
that's
But so
right.
this,
I'd be
we
crashing that
didn't
party.
tell my parents, yeah, my parents had like saved and saved and saved. It was going to be really special to ride in this limousine. None of us have ever rode in a limousine before this time, right? Like it was like a big deal. This was in the 90s. And so we all get dressed up. We know what we're doing, but my parents wanted it to be a surprise for Uncle Thomas, Aunt Caroline, and Grandma Daddy High. So they didn't tell them. Aunt Caroline always would wear like super nice clothes, always looked like fancy, no matter the occasion, if it was a backyard barbecue, right? But this day she happens to just show up in overalls. So, anyways, you have this picture of us all standing in front of this limousine. I wish I could find it. I'll have to dig it up. And my family's all dressed in dresses and our best, Sunday gown, and Aunt Caroline in her overalls, and then everyone else is like, just wearing whatever. Anyway, so we hop into the limousine and surprise, it's so fun. So we get in a limousine, and the plan was for us to all go dream of being rich. So we went to the biggest, nicest neighborhood in Atlanta that we could possibly find. Like multi-million-dollar houses. And back then, like,
That was
it's a
some.
lot of money now, but that was like a lot of money in the 90s, right? Still a lot of money. So we go around, we're like dreaming, oh, one day, and we were pretending, we were all pretending, we're all got into this mode of like, yes, oh, we could totally buy that house. So it was this neighborhood where a lot of the houses were being built, and so we were able to walk through these houses and see what it was going to be like in the floor plan and dream of like, oh yeah, and they had elevators and all this stuff, right? Well, then there was some that were already built, but they were for sale, and so we could just go in because they were vacant, and you could like just walk in, whatever.
This
So we
feels
see
like
one.
not good things.
So there's this one house that we pull up to, had a for sale sign, and we're like, oh yes, limousine driver, stop, stop. And we all get out, we're like, oh, look at this magnificent house. And we open the door and we're like, oh, it's a show home. Wow. Look, there's cat food and cat water. We open up the laundry room, like, wow.
Oh my goodness, no.
They was like, wow, they took this serious. There's like laundry folded in these perfect piles. We're like, wow. We start opening up cabinets. We're like, look, they even put silverware. They thought of everything. So, anyways, my Aunt Carol Ann, who had the overalls, went to use the bathroom in this house.
Oh.
She goes into the bathroom. My sister and I like trance up the stairs. Do what's up here? Everyone else is downstairs. We like barge into this room where there's a man sleeping in the bed. And we both went. We looked at each other and then back at him and then like back to each other and just like ran down the stairs. Running down the stairs. We're like, this is someone's home. There's a man in the bed. And my dad, he starts racing us all out to the limousine. He's like shoving us all aside, running pell-mell towards the door. He's the first one out the door. He dives into the limousine. We're all running behind him. All of us are diving in, diving in, diving in. Well, Aunt Carol Ann was still in the bathroom. She had no idea what was going on. Anyways, Uncle Thomas, being the kind gentleman that he is, he stayed inside the house awkwardly, like, okay, come on, let's go. And waiting for her to get out of the bathroom. She comes out, and he's like, let's go. And she comes out of the house, like, what are we running from, guys? And she's still buttoning up her. And we're all over the limousine saying, run, come on. And she gets in, and then my dad's yelling at the limousine driver, go. And we only went like 3 or 4 houses up, and then we're like, okay, let's go to this house.
Oh my goodness. We just back up.
Nowadays, people have like Ring cameras, and we would have. It's like we have replayed this story over and over and over at family events, and we're like, how did none of us not think this could be someone's home? Like, why did we all just move the show home?
I want to know what in the world, who rents a limousine and then goes.
My family. Only my family.
You get it good from both sides, sister. Then that is hilarious. I was dying the whole time.
Or you just haven't heard it in a while. I can't remember.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Really? Oh, that's a family classic. So funny.
I'm trying to think about I'm thinking about some that just aren't. I'm thinking about Apapa. So our Apapa, which is this museum, most of this are their things. His name was Apapa. First of all, anybody listening to this, does anybody else have an Apapa? No, because that's not a name that people have, right? But then to complicate the situation, his name was Osborne. Do you know a lot of Osborns? No.
Well,
how many Osborns do you know?
I don't know it. Well, Ozzy Osbourne, but I think that's his last name. But I was thinking about all of the siblings, like your dad, my mom.
Oh yeah, right. No,
have the middle name Osbourne.
Yeah, which is terrible, especially for the girls. But yeah, so Osborne was his name. Well, that was not even his full. That was his middle name. Anyways, the point is Ernest Osborne. Okay, but I'm just saying that Osborne is not a common name. It's not like oh John, like our uncle, or Michael, like my dad. Like it's Osborne. And not to mention, they were submerged in the Hispanic culture,
Yeah.
born in Uruguay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's they have citizenship there. That's the heritage, all the things, right? So he
Okay.
doesn't have a voice that's like, "Hey y'all, how you doing? This Osborne." Like it's not like
Right.
that.
No.
And so back in the 90s, for anybody who's listening that was born later than that, um, they had they had home phones which were attached to your
Mhm.
home, and they didn't leave the home. They couldn't leave the home, and there was caller ID was just coming out. It was like a big deal. Like if you had caller ID on your home phone, you were fancy. Like yeah,
Right. It's like a big deal.
you had money. You probably rented a limo and did breaking and enterings. You know what I mean? That's the kind of things that you did. So, anyways, every time Apapa would call,
Mhm.
he would say, "Hello?" And he'd
In
go
his
through the
like,
lineup. He'd go, it's me, and Brittany answering, and he'd go, "Hello? Anthony?" And I'd say, "No." "Oh, sorry. Beverly?" "Nope." And he
that's her
said,
mom.
"Yeah, my
And
mom."
her brother.
And then he'd say, "Oh, Brittany." And I'd say, "Hi." And he'd go, "It's Osborne, your grandfather."
Your grandmother.
"Is your father around?" And I'm like, "Yes, Papa. I knew it was you before I answered the phone because of caller ID, but then also your voice and the whole like I don't know. It's just so hilarious." And one time, I can't really tell this story without telling like the details.
Then tell
There's
the details.
I can't tell the details because it's kind of a like whatever. I can tell the funny, but I just won't say the person. So
Okay.
when I moved away to college,
Mhm.
I went to like when I had to come back home, I would pass this house that I'm in now, our grandparents' house, and I would stop all the time every time I would come home and I would see them. But this particular time, when I called again, this is a very old world like soul. I don't even know how to explain our grandparents. I don't
Well,
feel
they
like
were born what, 1915 or I
yes,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
So
they,
a
yeah,
hundred and something years old if they were still here today. My mom was almost 100 when she passed away. So like
97. Yeah.
very old and they also were not like just older. They like lived in a time of I'm in the US embassy and I do all these things, like
Right.
whatever. So
Uh-huh.
it's only funny because of that, like how proper they were, right? Like almost proper.
Right.
That's us. That's the generation internet. I know that's your tagline. Anyways, so I called on the phone on my cell phone and I called to the house phone because when I came to the door, it was locked and I had knocked on the door and nobody came to the door.
Uh-huh.
So I called the house phone, which I can hear ringing because, again, as a refresher, it does not leave the house. So when it rings, everybody can hear it. So the
Right.
phone's ringing, and you can hear Amama and Apapa. They are
Uh-huh.
scrambling, you know,
Trying to get, uh-huh.
to get like to the phone, and then
Right.
Apapa answers it. I'm not sure why the phone was so confusing for such a brilliant man, but he was like, "Wait, what do I say? What do I say to her?" And then I'm like thinking, "What?" And so I said, "Hey, Papa, it's me, Brittany. Came here to see you guys, you and Mama. I'm at the door." And he said, "Oh, Poupée," which is our grandmother, Mama. "Poupée's not here. She's," and he was like lying to me on the phone, and I was like, "Papa, I'm like outside." And then I said again my name, and he goes, "Oh, Brittany. Oh, okay."
I know.
He
He
said,
thought it was someone else. I know who
yes,
he
he
thought
thought it
it
was
was.
somebody else. And then they came to the door, and it was so funny because Mama was like, I'm just like, "You guys why did you just don't answer the phone? What is that?" Like, I don't know. It's, oh, you guys, half of these stories are really not funny unless you know the people. We should like put the pictures of them up in the house. Oh my goodness. Hilarious. And I'm going to tell this story because this is the last one, and then I'll let you actually tell a funny one. But, and this is terribly cringy for Apapa, but he's no longer with us, so it's fine. He I stopped by again. I stopped stopping by unannounced, by the way. I kind of learned my lesson after this last one. So Apapa, he at the towards the end of his life, before he came to live with your parents, he had to have oxygen machine like with him. So he had this giant long tube cord that would follow him in wherever he would go out to the porch. Well, they were very cheap. That's just the truth. And the Apapa would never turn the air conditioning on. And we're in Florida. And only time he would turn it on is when all of us would come. And even then, you would catch him go shut the air conditioner off, and everybody's like, oh, it's so hot, Yeah, and so, well, then when it was just them, they definitely didn't turn the air on. Yep. So, I came in. Mama came to the door to get me, greeted me, hugged me, kissed me, and she said, we're out on the porch. So we walked out to the porch. Our grandmother, Mama, walked me out to the porch and is just chatting away with me, and Apapa's sitting there completely naked. And I mean completely naked, because it was so hot and it's just the two of them. And so he's just sitting there naked, and Mama just...
Did he forget? And she forget?
She forgot completely, and then he forgot completely. He goes to stand up to give me a hug, and I was like, well, or not, and so what are you supposed to say? Oh my goodness, it was so... And when he stood up, it was like reality hit. And then Mama was half blind too, so who knows if she even knew he was naked out there.
She probably had
no clue. And so, but I just paraded me to the back of the house. They're both talking to me, and I'm just acting like I don't notice that he's completely naked sitting there in the chair. This old man.
And from then on out, you gave them a heads up.
I didn't do that anymore. I think that was my last time. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, I'll be coming through in about an hour. Can everyone put on pants?
There's not a whole lot that's more scarring than seeing your grandfather starch naked.
I'll tell you.
At 90-something years old.
Just sitting there with his legs crossed like a gentleman. I think that's why he forgot, because he's just sitting there with his legs crossed like he's at a fine dining restaurant in the back porch naked. Which, the back porch, though, I mean, we do live in the middle of nowhere, but the back porch was glass windows everywhere.
Yeah, but there's no houses around.
No.
There's a bunch of coyotes.
That's true. That Mama would feed. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. I need you to tell a funny one, because mine aren't really funny. They
are funny.
They're funny in my brain, because I can picture I can picture all of it.
I have to try to think of one. What's a funny story?
I think about the time, do you remember when that video came out, Scarlett Takes a Tumble?
I don't know that one. I remember Charlie Bit Me. Charlie
was never funny to me, ever.
Charlie Bit Me?
I think people falling down is funny. I know, everybody thought that was hilarious. This is this girl.
You know what I do when I'm bored is I Google models falling down the runway. And I will laugh my head off.
Listen, this is our pastime. This is what our family does. When we go to bed, our kids will say, Can we go watch videos of people falling down? I'm like, yeah. So we go watch videos of people falling down. It's so funny. And it's such a problem, though. Like, I laugh at people and they don't like it. But anyway, Scarlett Takes a Tumble is this 1990s video of this like heavy set lady getting up on top of a coffee table, but she's like trying to record herself singing. I don't know, and she's like, and she falls back, and it's like it was like the funniest thing ever. Literally ever to me. And I watched it. And this other one where the model, where her ankle does this like...
Yes, the ankle bending. Those are my favorite. I don't know why, but they get me every time. Which is so funny, because I can't walk in heels. And I laugh at myself. I don't walk in heels because I'm an ankle bender too.
My ankle regularly just is like, nope, not today. Wow.
I'm an ankle bender in flip-flops. Let alone my heels.
Oh my goodness. Listen, here's something funny. Okay, in our office, when I walk down the hallway, I trip
Yeah.
at the same nothing. There's nothing on the floor. And then I watch my kids do it and they trip at the same nothing. And I'm like, okay, maybe the floor's uneven. It's not us. It's not genetic.
Yeah, really.
Oh.
You know what this reminds me of though? So when I was
Oh wait, I said that Scarlett takes a tumble because I'm sorry. Because remember the time you went down some
that's what I was
stairs?
about to
Oh
say.
good,
Yes.
that's the
Okay. So
one.
that's the story that I was just thinking of. All this reminded me of that situation that happened. So I was a teenager and Phantom of the Opera had just come out. And so we went to see it like on Broadway. Of course, it was in Atlanta, Broadway. So at the Fox Theater, not Broadway, New York, but it was still Broadway that was producing it. Anyways, so it was like a big deal. It was my first Broadway show. And, so I was like, I'm going to wear high heels and I wear this fancy
That's
dress.
where you went wrong.
Yeah, totally.
Mm.
Should have just stuck with my good old faithful flip flops.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I went with Amanda and our youth pastor and his wife because Amanda and I used to babysit for their children. And so it was like a special thank you for babysitting our children. We're going to take you to the Fox Theater because we loved theater and all the things. So, anyways, we go. And at the end of the show was great. At the end of the show, the whole cast comes out to like meet people at the bottom of like at the end, like the foyer area, right? And we had always heard, and now I've been at the Fox Theater lots of times, so I know this, and it's not like as mind blowing now, but at the time it was like, what? But we had heard that there were stars on the ceiling, and if you went up to the balcony, it looked like you were in the middle of the night sky with billions of stars. And we're like, we have to go see that, right? So Amanda and I go trotting up the stairs. We're so excited to go see these stars on the ceiling. We see that super cool. We're like, okay, let's go back downstairs and meet the cast, right? Well, first step. I'm wearing high heels. First step, I fall. And not only do I fall to my knees on these stairs. So these are the stairs, right? I'm falling down the and I'm trying to keep my balance, so I put my arms out to hold my balance. And so I'm going down the stairs with my arms out, and I'm screaming the whole way down. All the way down the stairs. When I get to the bottom, I'm like laying flat on my face. And I ran flat on my face at the bottom of the stairs after all that. And then I was like, well, I'm wearing a dress. I can't just like get up, And I'm like trying to roll around to like politely stand up. So I'm laying at the bottom of the stairs, like rolling around, trying to get my feet in front of my body so I can politely stand up. Amanda's like gone. She's laughing so hard she can't even believe it. My youth pastor and his wife are standing over in the corner dying laughing at me. And I look at and I can see them laughing. And the entire cast is staring at me. Nobody says, hey, are you okay? It's just in shock as I'm like,
Such a Crocker thing, like you couldn't just fall. You had to fall with like vibrating arms, shouting at the top of your lungs as each hit.
as I'm sliding on my knees. And you know what? I didn't wear heels again until, I have a couple more high heel embarrassing moments. I wore high heels for my wedding. Thankfully, I survived that. No mishaps there.
That
But
was a
then,
big dress you had on too, so that's a big deal. It was a big,
right?
beautiful, poofy dress
It
at the
was
bottom.
big.
I mean, it wasn't super poofy, but it was a
It wasn't
wedding dress, so you know.
great description. You're the best at
Nobody can
describing
see. I
things.
was doing this.
Yeah, but for the people who aren't watching the video, they're not going to know. So, this was really embarrassing, and I. Oh yeah, this one was embarrassing. Okay, so we.
Wait, don't tell the falling down one. I want you to tell this Texas Roadhouse one.
Okay, I'll tell that one after this. Okay, but
Okay.
we get to the one since we're on the high heel one. So, my dad was a U.S. congressman for 8 years, and he got invited. Well, every year the congressmen are invited to the Christmas ball at the White House, and he usually took my mom every year. But this one year, he was like, "Hey, I would love for you to come and be my plus one." So I went with my dad as a plus one to the
Aw. I
at the
remember that.
Christmas ball at the White House, right? Really special. So I'm like, it's the White House, like, and I was gonna meet. I'm like, I'm gonna meet the president and the vice president. I'm gonna meet all these like crazy important people. Anyway, so I'm like, I have to wear like a really nice dress. I'm like, I'm gonna have to suffer through heels. Like, they're not my favorite thing to hurt my feet. I'm not great at it, but I'm gonna have to do it because it's the
It's the
Christmas
White
ball.
House. You can't wear flops.
Right. We get there and we're like, okay, everything's going smooth at first, right?
The first
But
minute.
my feet start to like be in throbbing pain. So we stand there and we're waiting and we're mingling, we're talking to people, we're drinking our little Christmas like hot chocolate, I think it was. I don't remember, or maybe like a cinnamon apple cider. I don't remember what it was. We're, just being social. And then the president comes down and he's making his speech. And we're just standing there, right, for a long time listening to his speech. And at this point, my feet had already been hurting for a while, but just standing there, my feet started to become so numb, I couldn't feel them anymore. So I couldn't really tell if I was standing straight or not because my feet literally, I couldn't feel them. They were like non existent. So I'm like, I tell you to my dad, oh, okay. So also the super awkward thing, it was like it was not a gown that went down to my feet. It was like a high low. So like if these are my legs, the high part goes up a little bit below my knees, and then the bottom part, it kind of has like um
I
a
love
train.
whenever you describe things that you literally said with words.
Yeah, but in case anyone doesn't know what high low is, I think everyone knows what high low is. Anyways, it was a high low dress.
I love that you gave the visual. Okay, go on.
So so I couldn't just like take off my shoes without it being visible. That was my plan. I was like, if I had worn a dress that was down to my feet, I could just slip my shoes off and no one would know I didn't have shoes on, right? But so I'm like, I can't do that. So I look at my dad. I'm like, my feet are in so much pain, I can't feel them. Like they're numb. He's like, oh, it's fine. Just take them off. Like I was like, so we're standing there listening to the president give a speech, and I was trying to slip them off, but they're the buckly kind, so I couldn't. So then I was like, okay, it's fine. I just won't take them off. Well, the president gets done with his speech. He comes down. He's like starting to mingle with everyone. I'm trying to be like cordial and not weird, which I'm a very weird person. But at this point, it was so bad, I literally could not walk straight. So I'm like trying to make sure I have one foot in front of the other. I couldn't tell because they were so numb. I started to like just wobble, and my wobbling was so bad. I really had to have looked drunk, and I had not had one sip, like not none, right? And I had to, and I was just wobbling so bad. I was like bonking into people as I walked, from one side to the other, all the way through, like really famous, important people. I'm just like knocking them over, and they're holding their drinks and they're splashing. I'm just like, sorry. And then I go to one of the rooms. I think it was the red room, which this furniture is like 500-year-old furniture that like no one ever sits on, but I couldn't help it. And I sit down in the red chair and take off my shoes because they had buckles. I had to sit there, and I just sat there so awkwardly barefoot in the White House in the middle of the Christmas ball with their shoes on because I couldn't walk anymore. But it was super embarrassing. But the really cool thing about it was
There's
a
a
couple
really
of the
cool.
yeah, there's a couple of the congressman lady or congressman wives walking up, and they're like, "Oh, are your feet hurting?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they were hurting really bad." And they're like, "My feet hurt really bad too. Can I sit with you?" And then, I was like, "Sure." So they sat down and took off their shoes,
Aw.
and then more came and took off their shoes. And by the end, there was like 10 of us ladies sitting down barefoot in these old ancient chairs. But by what's all said and done, and it was time to leave. I couldn't get up anymore. I was done. But when it was all said and time, I couldn't put my shoes back on. So I just carried my shoes over my shoulders out of the White
I feel
House
like
down
that's
the street.
classy. I feel like that's a classy thing to do at the White House. I think that's
Yeah,
totally fine.
me. And the time, okay, so awkwardly enough, the time before that I had been at the White House, it was when President Obama was in president at that, not that time. the time of the President Ball, Trump was in office, but the time before I was there, was Obama was in office, and my nephew had to go to the bathroom super bad, and he was like 3. Peter was like 3 at the time, and my mom said to one of the security guards, like, my grandson has to use the bathroom. Where can he go? And he's like, ma'am, people don't use the bathroom at the White House. Like, and she's like, well, he's 3, and he's either gonna have to pee on your floor or you're gonna get him a bathroom. So he was like, okay, understood. So he let Peter go to the bathroom. Well, so I'm standing there just like leaning against the wall, like waiting for them to get out. And it happened to be President Obama's family portrait, his wife, his kids, family portrait on the wall. And I'm leaning against it and I knock the picture off the wall on accident. And out of nowhere, out of nowhere, Secret Service is just like pouring out, trying to catch it. I'm like, ah. Anyway, so I felt really awkward that like every time I've gone, there's been something very awkward that's happened to me. Not the last time that I went, thankfully. I kind of redeemed myself, but yeah, that was awkward. So, what was the story you said you wanted me to tell, though? I know I forget.
Oh, the Roadhouse story.
Oh yeah, I'm just if you can't tell by now, I'm just like a walking disaster. My life is just one giant embarrassing moment. Okay, so we go to Texas Roadhouse, and dinner was great. Everything was great. It was about time to go. The waiter's like, can I get you guys anything? You know, I almost made it through a whole dinner being normal. Everything was off to a great start. The waiter's like, can I get you guys anything before you go? And I'm like, we don't go out to eat that often. And when we do, I always get water. But this particular day, I had gotten like a Coke or something. So it was like a big deal, right? So I wanted my Coke in a to-go cup. I had to be careful to saying that just now. I say to him, yeah, can I please have a Cadeau cup? Cadeau cup. And he's staring at me. And I'm like, that wasn't right. Right? I didn't think that out loud in my mind. I'm like, yep, I don't think that was the right word. So then I look at my husband who's sitting across from me for him to help me. I look at him and I say to him, a Cadeau cup? And my husband Brian is just like staring at me like, what's wrong with you? So then I look over here at my daughter who's sitting next to me. I'm like, a Cadeau cup? Seeing if she would help me. And she's just staring at me. Like, sure. Just walked off.
Like, somebody back me up. You know what I'm trying to say.
Someone help me out here. Someone, please.
This is like literally every single, like half of our funnies are you saying words that are just not.
Like,
they're not.
That's a family loom on the wall.
And I was talking to you on the phone one time and I said, we were laughing really hard and I was like, because like we all know that you have ADHD and dyslexia.
This wasn't on the phone. This was like last week when you were at my house.
No, I said it on the phone and then we were reliving it because I kept picturing your face when you came back on Marco Polo and you said, I don't think I knew that. And then in the car, you said last week you said, I think I just have dyslexia with words. And then you're like, like with words.
I do.
What else did you have dyslexia with? And you're like, no, like with words.
What I meant by that was, let me explain myself. What I meant by that was,
when you explain yourself, you literally just repeat the same thing with like different emphasis.
with words.
With words.
I meant verbal, not like
It's not
eating.
better. It's not better. It's not better.
I reversed the words, not the letters.
No. I'm joking.
Oh,
Oh, I can't.
it hurts. Oh man, Brittany, why are you so normal though?
I don't.
Why do why do I always do and say and think the dumb things, and you're over there just getting to enjoy it, laughing at all? Why don't you ever make a fool of yourself?
Oh gosh, I
Mm.
say dumb things all the time. I say it out loud. If there's any kind of silence, it's like my brain's like, something's wrong. You should say something. And I'm like, no, don't say anything. And then I just fill it with weirdness. I just be quiet, but I can't. I just keep prattling on like I'm an idiot. Oh my goodness. And then I'm like, what did you even say? Like, what did you even say? This is
Welcome to
why it's
my life.
wild. We have a podcast. Why? Why, why would someone let us do that? I'm gonna tell
Did
you one of the
anyone come,
times.
or we just did
Huh?
it? I said, did anyone let us do this, or we just did it?
Fair, but nobody's shut us down yet. So I think that's a success, is what I think. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this story
Tell me.
of me falling down. Again, it's not. I mean, I'm never in a glamorous place because I know better. I don't know what's wrong with you, but I guess you haven't learned yet. I'm always like, this is why I can't have nice things because I know that I can't. Um, but whenever I used to work at a bank. I worked at a couple of banks when I was right out of high school, and I'm going to tell you three short stories, but the last one will be me falling down. But in this bank was like, you're behind the teller line, and then they have it sealed off. You can't just come around the teller line. But it was like it was like one of those doors that swung like a cafe type door, okay?
Yeah, like a cowboy door.
Yes, yes. So I would always when I had to go out into the lobby, which by the way, when I worked at the bank, I thought I should wear shoes that were sort of heels. I don't know why I thought that. They were like the wedges, that were like real popular. Anyways, so I'm
In the 2000s.
I'm walking out. I've walked in and out of this door like I don't know how many times in just one
Yeah.
day, much less the time I've been working there. But we were having some remodeling done. I did not know that when I walked with all my body weight and force in these shoes, that in fact they had put a lock on the door for safety. I walked and this is in the bank with everybody. One of my best friends, Heather, was working there, and I literally like she's trying to help a customer, and I walked just like as if the door was gonna open, but in fact it was locked. So it was like boom, and then the reverberating off the wall. The wall was shaking like this, and Heather was like, "You literally walked into it like a Brahma bull," and I'm like, "I didn't mean to, though. I didn't know." Anyways, and then at the same bank, we had these high like chair stools, but that had at the bottom was like, it was a round like foot pedestal, and I had high heels on, which was again never. And I backed up like this to stand up, but when I stood up, my back of my heel got caught in the circle thing, and you just see me go to get up and just collapse down like they watch the video, and I'm in the middle of like the teller line with customers, and I go and just fall down, and everybody's like trying to keep it together, and then okay. The last horror story at the bank, I had on those wedges that were really
After this,
cute.
you quit.
Yeah, what?
I said, after this one, you quit.
I did quit soon. I should have left after the first one. But again, my really good friend Heather was working there, and I was wearing these wedge
What is it with us and high heels? They don't work well.
And I walked up to her to give her a hug, and I don't know what I did with my my shoe, but when I walked up to give her a hug, my shoe, this is terrible. My shoe hit her toe. Literally, wait, it's terrible. If you're squeamish, don't listen. It literally took her toenail off. I'm not kidding. Oh, and she was like, she screamed and she said, "Why are you wearing these stupid shoes?" Drop away. She wouldn't let me wear them anymore. So there's that. There's that.
Oh
Okay,
man.
wait, one more. That same friend Heather, we went back to college together. Or while I was going to college, she went back to college because she's 3 years older and she's significantly older than me. So everybody remember that.
Significantly.
Significantly older than me. And and she was so excited about going to college, going back to college or whatever. And we were in the same class. We were in a statistics class. And because
I
I'm a
hate
big lady, she's a bigger lady, we made this pact that we absolutely could not take the elevator to the first floor. And when I say and when I say we, I mean me. She was very angry about that I was like, "Heather, no, we have to walk up the stairs. This is like a faux pas. You can't do it." But because she was so excited about going back to school, she had bought herself a like army backpack that was like this far off of her back that she put every notebook, every book. She had packs and packs of pencils. I'm pretty sure she had a trapper keeper, and she had like all kinds of crazy stuff in it. It was so rulers, like she was just so excited, none of which we needed, by the way. And so she's like, "Oh, but I've got this backpack." And she had, you remember those like boots that were really in style in the 90s that we wore, kind of like combat looking boots? I don't know if you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Well,
Yeah.
she had those
Bear
on. She had those on, and I'm making her walk up the stairs, and it's me and her walking up the stairs, and she's got this like she's going to save like people in Africa like on her back, and I'm like walking beside her. Well, these shoes betray her, and she comes, and it's like huge stairs. It's like a university stairs. She comes falling down the stairs like like she came down hard, and then the way she hit, the backpack just sort of drug her the rest of the way. And
Still
I
friends with you.
I know. I immediately almost peed myself, and instead of like helping her or asking her if she was okay, I literally just stepped over her and kept walking up the stairs like it didn't happen.
You like Zia.
Can't be late for class. Hate that for you. Oh goodness. Okay, that was good times. Okay.
So funny. It's hilarious, man.
I hope
Oh.
that this was not only funny to us and that somebody else out here listening thought it was funny. If you did, I would really love for like a comment or something that on Facebook or somewhere that's like,
Right in comment.
yeah, I need you to say something that happened to you that was funny and terribly embarrassing and maybe you can't recover from. I want you
Yes,
to do
please.
that.
So I especially need to know that I'm not the only person out there that does really dumb things. We should do a part two because as we've been talking, I've thought about 10 others at least, if not more.
All right.
Really, yeah,
Yeah.
horribly embarrassing, funny stuff. Yeah.
I do want to say you are definitely the only person who went to the White House and knocked off the family portrait of the Obamas off the.
Secret Service wasn't very
Wait, is
happy
his
about
last name Obama? Yeah, Barack's his first name.
oh my goodness. Okay, Okay, you want to hear something really? I have two things that's really awkward that just made when you said that. That just is so cringe but funny for me. Okay, so I was in college, right, and should have been well educated at this point in my life,
Mhm.
and
But
we
you
were
have
playing.
dyslexia with words.
You apparently. So we were playing apples to apples,
Oh.
and I don't remember what the word was, right? Well, I'm like, I don't have any good cards for this, so I just lay one down. So I can't believe I'm admitting this. And so whatever the green card was, I won with my what I thought was a trash card. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like I don't even know. Like I don't even know who this person is. I just like toss it down, right? And they're like, I was like, oh, I won. I didn't even know. I was like, I don't even know who that is. And they're like, they're like, you don't know who Adolf Hitler is? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. Is that Hitler's wife? I knew who Hitler was. Adolf. I was like, I don't know. Is that Hitler's wife? I don't know who Adolf is.
Oh my goodness.
In college, so embarrassing, right? And then another really cringe, awkward thing in college. Obviously, I've been much more educated since then. But my mom taught me that instead of onomatopoeia, it was pronounced onomatopoeia. So my sister goes off to college. This is actually my sister's story, not my story per se.
Glad you could bring her into this.
Oh yeah, anytime that I could drag her into my embarrassing moments, I will. So she goes off to college in I think I might have been in college too. I don't remember if it was at the same time or not, but she goes off and she says, "Oh, that's an onomatopoeia." And someone was like, "Oh, what?" And she's like, oh no, my Maria. Anyways, that's when Anna learned that it's an onomatopoeia. So she calls me. She's like, Sarah, mom taught us the wrong word. It's not onomatopoeia. She's like, never say it. It's onomatopoeia.
Don't say it out
That's how
loud.
I learned the real word. I was like, okay, cool. Good to know. Thanks.
Thanks. Thanks for saving me.
Yeah.
I told that story at our school the other day because one of my coworkers, whose name is Ashley, so should she ever listen to this, she cannot speak. I don't know what condition she has, but she's a teacher though, so she teaches, so that's important to know that she's the teacher. But she literally cannot say quesadilla. She can't say any word in Spanish. It's terrible, and she just like, anyways. But I was laughing because we couldn't remember something, and I literally thought about your mom saying onomatopoeia or whatever, and I was laughing, and I told them that story, and then like the kids look at her, and she looks at me, and she asks the kids, she's like, so what did I teach you guys all last year was
Incorrect.
a big exaggeration, and they were like hyperbole. And then the speech pathologist happened to come in when she was saying that, and the speech pathologist was like, what is it that you're saying? And she was like, hyperbole. She's like, hyperbole. And she was like, so the teacher at the school, anyways, we laugh about that. But do you know what I think? If we do a second one, that would probably be just terrible for everybody, but fantastic for us, so we probably should. But
We
I
should do
think,
part two like 6 months from now. Right
yeah,
now,
we should
literally.
like come back and just do laughing. But
Yeah.
let's remember
Yeah.
the
The whole
freshest,
point of this.
well, no, not that. We can circle back around
Oh.
to the Lord. The
Thought we were circling back.
cringe moment of all time that I have yet to recover from, and the only reason I'm talking about it here is just because I need to acknowledge the elephant in the room. If you actually were aware of this, we did a podcast recently, and I got a phone call from a friend who had listened to it and was like, hey, I think, or not a phone call, but a text. Hey, I think that your podcast might need some editing because like the last 15 minutes is you and your husband, and you guys are talking about going to just like our whole life afterwards. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't handle this. And I
You're
can't.
like singing. You were singing.
911, 911.
Yeah, that's exactly what she did. She texted me in all caps, 911 emergency.
Because
And I'm
I
like,
couldn't get my phone. Most people do that if there's like something's wrong, but I was like, this is terrible. I'm talking for 15 minutes. It's like the
So we're
podcast.
talking about swimsuits and
Yeah, you
um
watched it. Sarah's like, just watch it. It's not going to be that bad. Whatever.
and it was not that bad. It
Oh,
was actually cute because the kid you were getting ready to go to a beach swim party for someone's birthday. So y'all were talking about which swimsuits to wear, and you were singing some Frozen song in the bathroom as you were doing Lucy's hair. Like,
but the reason I couldn't watch it is because I was like trying to remember that day for that podcast and what I was talking about. And I was like, surely I screamed my head off at the children. That's not going to be something that people want to hear about them thing. But the reason I could not watch any more of it, and I'm going to do it for you guys here today, you know, that I talk like I don't even know what word you could use to describe how weird I am with my animals, but my dog happened to be beside me in the car. And so the first thing that happens, I think the video's off. The video's not off. In fact, it's not off and it's still running and it's recording me. And I go, I go, a bougie dolly, goosey dolly, bougie dolly. I start singing to my dog. I'm talking to my dog and I'm like, oh, I can't watch the
you're like,
rest of it.
you're such a good
I
girl. You're
know.
such a
I'm
good
like
girl.
talking at the highest like pitch I can get to, singing to her. You don't even ever see her. That's what's worse. Is like you never actually see the dog. I'm just going.
So no one knows what you were doing.
And when you deleted it, hopefully before anybody but her had seen it or heard
I
it.
think there was like 3 views, but
Oh, so whoever heard that, bless you for just not, maybe you've stopped. Maybe you're not watching this because of that, but I could not come back from that. I couldn't like I'm talking about it now just because I know that it happened, but Sarah had to watch it to tell me that it wasn't bad, but I couldn't watch it after I'm
I watched the
singing.
whole thing because I wanted you to have peace of mind as to like how cringe it should be or how cringe it should not be. But my favorite part of that, of course, was you singing to Dolly. But what, what was really cute was Lucy when you got home. You're like, she said, "Hey, Mama, how was the podcast?" And like
Oh,
this really adorable, like super excited, like it was really cute. And that like I was like, oh, like she was so excited to hear all about the podcast, and it was really sweet.
yeah. Well, I didn't overshadow the cringe of it. So I'm glad that you got to hear that. I did not. We deleted it. So anybody who heard that, yeah.
I don't remember what podcast that was on. Do you remember?
It doesn't matter. Don't
Right
talk about
now.
it. Don't say
Edited,
it.
it's done.
It's done. It's gone. Can't see it now. But
Full
yeah.
circle though, right?
Yeah, full circle.
The whole point of this podcast of chaos giggleness was one, it was so late that we knew that we were going to lose it if we didn't do a funny one. But also, we've been talking about doing this one for a while, for a whole week. Not a while.
It's been a long time. We're
It's been
prone
a
to
long-
hyperbole.
Maybe maximum 10 days.
Maybe.
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 I don't even know when you were here. What day is it? Friday.
On that note, we need to close the session.
Today's Friday.
I was
You
there
left
a
on
week ago.
Sunday, and so it would have been Saturday. So 6 days ago. So not 10, not even a week. 6 days we've been planning.
A work week ago, plus 1 day.
True. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. I feel like
medicine, and everyone needs to laugh, especially in hard times. But
yes. We hope that this cheered you up, and if nothing else, it was just like a little brief reprieve from whatever you might be walking through. But the no, I can't. Just know that God loves you, and his goodness when everything is bad, even if you can't find something to laugh at, even if it's laughing at our expense, which we hope you will because we want you to have joy. When we're doing praising and we're recognizing who God is, it can bring you out of that funk. But That's really the heart of this. We want you to know how much God loves you and that he designed us to laugh and to be connected and to, and like you said, he has a great sense of humor. Have you ever seen a blobfish? Okay, that's what I'm saying. I think you need to close us out in prayer because I cannot. So tag, you're it. It's you. It's you. You do it.
Lord, we just thank you so much for this time of laughter and time of just relieving. Sorry. I don't think relieving is the word. Releasing, I'm sorry. Lord, help me with my words. Just the stress and the tension. You really are such a good father, and we praise you and thank you. Brittany, don't do it. Sorry. We just praise you, Lord. Brittany, you're gonna make me laugh. Oh, Lord, we just thank you so much for this time that we could come together. And thank you for the fun memories. Thank you for all these times that you've given us that we could look back on and reflect on and giggle at. And I know that laughter is such good medicine. And we thank you for that. And thank you for the gift of laughter and the gift of a sense of humor. I just pray that as people go out, that their hearts be filled with joy. And we just praise you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.